We'll go
Okay.
ahead and get started for today. So today's going to be mainly lower body and core like we've been working with. We have a couple exercise. We just have one exercise that's new to us today. That's the one we're going to use a pillow for, but everything else you've seen before now. So we're going to start in a standing position, coming into the movement we pretty much start every class with at this point, which is going to be our wide-legged squat. So toes are going to turn out. We're going to think about spreading our foot toes into the floor, and then think about pushing down with our big toe, our pinky toe, and our heel. Once we have that, I just want you to check in with your pelvis. I don't want it to be too far behind your arch or too far forward. We want to be right in the middle. And then once you feel like you got that, you're just going to squat down, opening the knees, pressing into the feet, keeping that spine nice and tall, and then drive into your feet to come up. Very good. We're doing around 10 to 15 of these. Very good. Nice. Mine's lagging a little bit today, so let me know if you can't see me, hear me, whatever. Ted, how's your body feeling today? Everything feel good?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Cool. Cool. Low back's doing better.
It's doing a lot better.
Very good. We're going for 6 here. Nice. For 7. Keep on pressing into those feet. Very good. Iris can't join us tonight because she's running late with work. Sad. But she'll get us tomorrow. I got another class for 10. And then let's do a couple more. 11. And then we'll make it 12 for 12. Very good. Press into those feet. All right, same thing now. Almost the same thing, but you're going to tick-tock your toes. So now they're facing me. We're actually going to do this exercise as a part of our workout today too. So you're going to spread the toes, then press into the floor. Hands can come to hips. Shoulders are down nice and heavy. And then we're going to think about pushing the hips back while you keep pressing into all parts of the feet. So hips hinge back till we start to feel a little stretch, and then you press into the feet to come up. Very good. So hips push back behind us like we're closing a door with your backside, and then you drive into the feet for 2. Nice, guys. Let's see how these looking today. For 3. Very good. You're loving the hair, Miss Cheryl. I feel like I never see your hair. I never see your hair down. Love it. Very good. We're going for 6. Nice. Pushing those.
Because it's always a wild mess.
Yes, same. I just end up cutting mine because of that. 7. Once it gets to a point where I don't want to wear it down anymore, I'm like, okay, we got to cut you. You're too crazy. Very good for 9. And then last one here, pushing those hips back for 10. Okay, now we're going to walk those feet in till they're back around hip width apart. And now we're going to work through some calf raises. So feet are going to be hip width apart. And then we're going to think about coming on to the toes. What we want to look out for is we don't want to be on the side of our feet. We're going to try to center our weight over our big toes. So try to come up onto the big toe and then lower down with nice and controlled. So we don't have to go very high. The key here is we're moving as slow on the up as we are on the down. So nice and controlled. Very good for 4. Nice. We're warming up the feet a little extra today. 5. Very good for 6. Nice. 7. 8. 2 more. 9. Trying to make sure that weight is over those big toes. That was the last one. 10. So now heels are going to stay in. Toes are going to come out. And it looks like I'm about to do like a ballet move here. You can try that out in plie if you like. And then same thing.
Always wanted to be a ballerina.
Yeah, I did too, but it didn't work out for me in dance. Yeah, did you ever try?
No.
I did one recital when I was 5, and I like never went back. All right, we're doing calf raises here, coming onto those big toes, lowering down. My mama was a ballerina, so she wanted to put me in all the dance and gymnastics. I was not
Oh.
coordinated in that way. I was a sports girl. I played all the sports, but you put me in a dance class and I look like I have no idea what I'm doing. But I tried it. I gave it one recital. Nice. For
Well,
6.
at least you gave it a try for.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. 7. Nice. For 8. Ooh, I'm starting to feel my calves. Try to use, put that weight on the big toes, just like you did. And then last one for 10. All right, final one. Toes are going to come in. Heels are going to come out. Now we're super pigeon-toed. Same thing. Come up onto those big toes. Might be a little harder, but try to maybe not go as high if it is. And then lower down with control. Very good. So it's okay if your feet aren't as turned in as mine. We just want to turn the feet in a little bit, whatever works for your body today. Nice. For 4. We're doing an exercise today that is a new one, or maybe it's just been a while since we've done it, and it requires our feet to be really warm. So that's why we're working out our feet a little bit here for 8. Nice. For 9, and then last one, 10. Very good. Walk the feet out so they're back around hip width. Let's warm up the spine a bit. So you're going to shift your weight into your right foot and then send the left foot behind. So it can be nice and close, and you can get it nice and close in towards your other foot so you can set that heel down. So now we're kind of in a staggered stance. With that, right hand's going to come in front of the right thigh. Left arm's going to lift up to the sky. We're going to think about growing taller. And then that left hand is leaning over towards the right, and we're coming back. So we're leaning over, opening in that left side body, and coming back. Nice. Very good, guys. Let's see how these are looking. These always feel so good to me. Very good, guys. Those look nice. Nice. Those looking awesome, Cheryl. For 6, let's get 2 more on that side. We have 7. And then last one for 8. And then we'll switch it out. Hands come down, switch those feetsies. We shift our weight into our left foot, send our right toes behind in our little staggered stance. And then left hand comes in front of left thigh. Right arm reaches up to the sky. We think about getting taller out of the waist. And then we lean over towards the left. We're going for around 8 to 10 reps here. So you're leaning in and out, getting some nice spinal flexion. Very good. Nice. 5, very good. For 6, 7, and then last one, we have 8. Beautiful. All right, hands can come down. We're going to be doing, let's do one more before we use the back of the chair. So hands are going to come out to our sides. We've been working on this exercise for the last couple weeks, and you're just going to twist one shoulder forward and one shoulder backward without moving any other area of your body. So you're trying to keep the shoulders, the hands around shoulder width as you twist one arm back, one arm forward. And if you want, you can lean in the direction of the arm that's twisting forward if that feels good to you. Sometimes that feels really good to me. Oh gosh, choking on something. Very good. Opening up those shoulders. And now we're going to go in for a reach. So get one more of those on each side. And then hands can come back down. And we're just going to reach over towards one direction. You're trying to keep the hips in the same place we reach, just extending the arms. Beautiful. Nice. We're getting some more opening into that side body. Very good, guys. Nice. Couple more each side. You know what? I don't think we're going to end up using that chair today, but that's okay. Last one each way. It's good to keep it around. And then one more exercise for today to kind of help with those shoulders. So feet are going to stay hip width apart. Hands are going to come out in front of you. And these are going to be scapula cars. So we're going to make hands into fist. The fists are going to be thumbs side up. And then we're grounding into our feet, tensing our core like someone's going to punch you. So it kind of braces out. And then the hands are going to go forward, up, back, down as we use the muscles of our shoulder blades. Yeah, so you're trying to think about using your back muscles to send your hands forward, up, back, down, forward, up. Very good, guys. Back, down. Last two in whatever direction you're going. Last one. Very good, guys. All right, when you're done with that, you can grab your drink of water, and then we're gonna get started with the workout portion for today. Nice, so we're feeling nice and warm. I hope, yay, yes.
Yeah.
I'll take that as a yes.
Yes, I have to open my window.
Oh yeah, that's good. That means we're getting warm. All right, then the first exercise after you grab your drink of water, we're gonna be coming down to the floor with our mini band. The first workout of this series, we used this band and did this exercise. So I'm just revisiting it, see if we've gotten stronger, maybe just to see if anything has changed since the last time that we get in it. So you're gonna sit on the floor, and then the band is gonna come around the feet. And you're gonna keep the feet grounded for this first one. So keep the feet grounded, wrap the band around those toes, around the sides of the feet, and then just lay down on the back, coming down to the floor. Okay, once you're there, I think you already know what's coming. I'm gonna have you place your palms or your hands on your pelvis. We're gonna do a couple pelvic tilts to kind of figure out where we're oriented today here. So we're gonna inhale, arch the back, fill the tummy, and then exhale, let out all the air, allow your back to come down. Maybe you can tuck that tailbone under, coming in the other way. So we inhale to arch, fill the tummy, exhale to tuck, air goes out, low back comes down. Take two more of those with your own pace, own breath. And then the last time we let out all that air and we tuck, we're gonna keep that flat back on the floor, feel that space being filled by your lower back now, and then tabletop those legs so they're floating in the air with the band on your feet. Very good. All right, so one is gonna stay at 90 degrees, one leg, and the other foot is going to push against the band, straightening the leg. All right, as the leg pushes out, you're thinking about pulling your core in. Pelvis pulls underneath your body as the leg goes out. So we're opposing the leg with the movement of our core and pelvis pulling us in. There you go. I have three. I'm moving nice and slow. We're getting somewhere between 8 and 12 here. 4. Nice. 4. And you don't have to fully extend with the band. That's okay. Nice, guys. 5. Take breaks as you need. These are tough on the core. We have 6. Nice head. Those are killing it. 6. Abs are pulling in as that leg going out. Nice, Miss Cheryl. 9. Oh, wait, 7. I just jumped up to 7. Nice. Very good. And then last one, 8. And you can go to 12 here, Ted, if these are feeling good. 8. Nice. You're welcome to take a break at any time though. 9. Core is pulling in, pelvis pulls underneath you as the legs go out. Beautiful. Those look awesome. 10. You can finish out with 2 more. Good effort, Cheryl. Nice. So 10. 11. Nice move, nice and slow. Last one on each side if you're moving with the 12. Very good. Nice stability there. And then set those feet down. Yeah. What are we feeling working on that one today, folks?
Right here.
Right there. We're feeling the quads. I think that's what you said last time, the first set. Okay, what about you, Miss Cheryl?
Quads and core.
Quads and core. Yes, that's what we're working. Nice. Okay, so we're kind of catching our breath. You said those are hard?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are not easy, but I know you're ready for it, guys. We've been working on the dead bug for a while, which is that exercise without the band. So I was like, they're ready for it. They got this. Okay, the next one we're going to be heading into is going to be up on our knees. So that's why I invited you to grab a pillow if you need it, because you're going to be able to pad your knees. And then also we're going to pad our feet. So you can use a nice big pillow. I'll kind of show you the setup. So if you're using a block, or a pillow, we're gonna put both the knees and the tops of the feet on the pillow. So I kind of just rest my knees on the floor and then the tops of my feet are on the pillow. Or you could set up in this kind of situation with one pillow there, the back of the feet on the block. So we're like this. But either way, I have something under my feet. I have something under my knees if I need it to feel more comfortable. Okay, so this is going to be a core exercise where we're also combining a hip movement. So I'll kind of,
Do you
say
still
that?
have a band on your feet?
I do not, no more band. Yeah. Okay, so very good setup there, Ted. Cheryl, just make sure we're putting something under our feet and under our knees if we need that, okay? Now we're in this top position, we're kneeling. So come up as you're ready onto your knees in this position, and then I'll instruct you further. Okay, we're gonna think about bracing our core, pulling our ribs down, and then squeezing our butt. So there's a lot of things going on. So we're bracing our core, ribs down, squeezing the butt. You're gonna keep that activation as we allow ourselves to lean back as far as we can control, and then keep everything squeezed as we come back up. Nice. Ted, make sure that pelvis is forward to start. So when you're here, we're really tucked at the top, pelvis forward, in line with the spine. Yeah, pelvis and chest are in line. And we're squeezing the core, squeezing the butt, leaning back, and then coming back up. We're not doing a lot of these. Very good. I'm gonna check to see everybody's doing in a second for 3. You're only leaning back as far as feels comfy in your body today. Nice, Ted, that looked good. See how Miss Cheryl's doing. We're going for 5, leaning back. Very good job, Miss Cheryl. Those look good. 6, we're keeping everything nice and squeezed. For 7, we're getting somewhere between 8 and 12 here. We're coming back for 8. Squeeze, squeeze. You're welcome to stop at any time now. Going back for 9. Very good. 10, good effort there. And I'll stop with you. Good job, guys. How are those feeling?
Woo.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'm challenging y'all today. What muscle groups are we feeling?
Definitely the quads.
Quads, yes. That's what I'm feeling too. Yeah, same,
Yes.
Ted?
Yeah.
Okay, the next exercise, we're coming up to our feet. We're going to be doing a wide-legged hinge like we did at the beginning. Grab a drink of water if you need it. So they call that exercise the poor man's leg extension, the poor man's like quad extension. So that's what we're doing. With very good job, guys. All right, so feet are going to be super wide. Toes are going to face me, or as close to me as you can get them. We've spread the toes. Dig your feet into the floor. Hands can come to hips. Shoulders are down. And then we're thinking about driving those hips back like we did in the warm-up move. Lowering down just as we start to feel a nice stretch, and then pressing into the feet to come up. Very good. So hips go back, and then we press into the feetsies to come up. Very good. We're going back. I have for 3. Nice, guys. For 4. Keep really active through the feet here. Nice. 5. Let's see how everybody's doing in a second. We're doing around 8 to 12 here. 6. Very good. Pushing those hips back behind us like we're closing a door or drawer with our backside for 7. Very good hinge, Miss Cheryl. We're going for 8. Nice. For 9, maybe we can start to get a little deeper as we're moving. For 10. Very good. You can rest anytime. I'm going for 11. And then last one for 12. Good job, guys. Grab your drink. We're going to head straight in to that next movement. So I have an option for y'all today that you might like. So the chair is another thing that we've been using a lot lately to help us get deeper in our squats. So I'm going to offer a curtsy lunge today, but you have an option of using your chair to help you sit a little bit deeper to get a little bit more out of it. So I'll show you how that looks like. So I'm going to be holding on to my chair, and we've been doing curtsy lunges for a while here, but this is just going to be, we're holding onto the chair with a couple fingers, putting light pressure. And I'll start with my feet hip width apart, and then I'm going to send the leg behind and then bend the front knee, bend the back knee, use light pressure to come back up, and then switch sides. Nice. So I can use the chair to help me sit a little lower and then press into the feet. Nice. So you send the leg behind, try to keep the chest nice and tall as you bend the back knee, bend the front knee. Very nice. And you can switch alternating each rep, or you can do one side first and then the other side. Nice. I'm on 3. Very good. I'm on 3. Very good. We're going for 4. Make sure you're switching legs eventually once you get around 5 or 6 here. 4. Very good. See how everybody's doing. 5. Nice. I like that you're using the bar there, Cheryl. Those look awesome. 5. Very good. 6. We're getting around 8 to 12 on each side. 6. Try to keep that spine nice and tall when you go down. 7. 7. Nice. 8. 8. Very good, guys. 9. And then, of course, if these are feeling really good, you don't have to use your hands, but I like to use the chair to help me sink a lot lower. So whatever you're thinking, 10. 10, feel free to take your break at any time. 11, I'm still going. If you're going, I see you. I see you, Cheryl. 11, and then last one each side. 12 and 12. Awesome effort, guys. How are those feeling in our knees and our hips today?
Woo.
We good, Ted?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It
Good
just
job.
helps you blow out.
What'd you say?
I said, it just helps us to say, woo.
Yeah, really.
I get that. I get that. I think I do the same thing when I work out. I don't even notice that much anymore, though, but I probably do. I know I make noises. All right, we're heading back to the floor. So grab the mini band. Hopefully it's not too far away from you, and take a seat on the floor, grabbing that drink of water as you need. I'm not really saving time for as much breaks as we normally do because we've been kind of low on time lately. So take a break if you need it, of course. I'm just not timing them out right now. Okay, so band is around the feetsies. We sit on the ground and feet stay on the floor as we allow our back to come down. Okay, so wrap your band around your feet and lay on your back. Very good. So I'm going to give you 1 or 2 rounds of pelvic tilts here so you can inhale to arch. Exhale to tuck, letting all the air out, catching your breath. And the next time you find that nice tuck, feel that lower back flesh on the floor, we can tabletop those legs to float in the air. Okay, once those legs are nice and floated, lower back is flat on the ground, we're going to begin to push against the band. As we push against the band, we scoop our pelvis underneath us, pull our core up and in. So each time that low back goes out, we scoop the pelvis, pull the core in. So we're opposing the legs with the abs, kind of like how I was talking about in the Pilates class the other day. Very good. I'm going for 2. Nice. 2. Move nice and slow here. That means we don't have to do as many as I like to tell my clients. We do, a couple slow reps. A lot of times that's better than a lot of fast ones. For 3. Very good. For 4. 4. Nice. Take breaks as you need. 5. Abs scoop in. Pelvis scoops under as we go out. We're going around 8 to 12 here. 6. I'm only going to 8. I'm telling you that right now. These are hard. 7. Very good. 7. Nice for 8. Check to see everybody's doing. You continue if you like. 9. 9. Oh, yes. Keep going, guys. Awesome job. 10. You can take a break anytime, but make sure you hit both legs before you lay them down. Very good. Take your break. Nice. Very good, guys. Catch the breath. Are we feeling the core a little bit more this time, Ted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt it the last time, but
Yeah?
I was just focusing in on these legs because I'm glad you're doing the legs today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing the legs all month. Okay, the next thing, we're going to grab the pillow and the block again. We're heading into that leg extension. So take that band off your feet. And then I'll be using my pillow and my block to make my knees nice and comfy and to elevate the backs, the tops of the feet. I'll give you all a second. You can grab a drink of water, of course, always. Okay. All right, I'll go through my checklist here. So we're gonna think about sending the hips forward so that the hips and the spine are in line. So if we were thinking about what our pelvis position was in, we're more of a tucked position with our glutes forward, our pelvis forward. From there, you're gonna squeeze your butt, tighten your core like someone's gonna punch you, and then ribs are gonna be down. What I mean by that is we don't want them flared and open. We wanna have everything in a nice line. All right, with everything squeezed and contracted, we lean back. We find the range that our body is comfy with, and then we raise up nice and slow. Nice, doesn't have to be very low at all. Very good as we lean back. It can only be a couple inches, and I would be super happy with that. Okay, very good for 3. Nice, we're keeping those glutes squeezed, the core engaged for 4. Nice, we're working on those hips today for 5. Nice, for 6, keeping everything nice and contracted. I'll see how everybody's doing. For 7, we're going for around 8 to 12 here. Nice, Michelle, nice, Ted, those look good. For 8, nice. For 9, good job, guys. I'm gonna finish out with you for 10, keeping everything engaged. Last 2 if you want it. If not, you're welcome to take a break. 11, nice, and 12. Beautiful. Take your break. Challenging y'all today. I saw the look on your face. Good effort. Good effort. So our theme for this month is hips, and in that position we're working our hips in a different range of motion that we normally do, so it feels really challenging, but it's good for them. All right, after you're done with that, come up to your feet, take the time, all the time that you need, grab a drink of water at the top if you want some, and then we'll hop straight in to some wide-legged hinges when you're ready. Okay, so feet are gonna open out nice and wide, toes are gonna face towards me, and then we're going to think about spreading the toes, then digging them down through big toe, pinky toe, and heel, and then hands can come to hips if you like, or anywhere else that feels comfortable, as we think about pushing our hips back like we're closing a door with our butt, coming down as far as feels good in our body, and then driving into our feet, active feet to come up. Very good. So hips are pushing back. Maybe you can go a little bit deeper this round. Maybe your hamstrings feel a little bit more open. Very good. For 3. Nice job, guys. We're going for 4. Nice. For 5. If your lower back ever starts to feel painful at all with these, it means we're going too far down. So just reduce how much you're going. Otherwise, if you feel like a nice stretch in your lower back or hamstrings or even inner legs, that's what you probably might be feeling here. Nice. For 7. See how everybody's doing. For 8. Nice, guys. Very good. 9. 10. We're going for around 8 to 12. 11. If you're liking the way these feel, you can always go to 15. I'm finishing here with 12. Very good. Nice job. We like these today. 13. Ooh, I saw that. Good effort, guys. Where do we feel those today? Where are we feeling them mainly?
Glutes.
Ooh, glutes.
In my lower back.
Lower back. Yeah. Does it feel like a nice stretch for your lower back, Ted?
It does. It does.
Yeah. That's where I feel it too. Whenever I'm in that position and I'm here, I feel all here. I agree. All right, the next one, grab your water. And then I'm going to be using my chair to help me and be assisted in some curtsy squats. You don't have to use a chair if you don't want to, but it's pretty nice to have. I like that Cheryl's using her whatever that's called over there too. It's nice and high. All right, what'd you say?
It's a little bit more sturdier than my chair.
I like it. I would be doing the same thing. I always use my house for my workouts. All right, we're gonna shift our weight into one foot and then send the other leg behind and then bend the front knee, bend the back knee, lightly use the chair to help you sit down, maybe a little bit deeper, and then you can stay on one side or you can alternate. Very good. I got for 1 and 1. Nice. 2 and 2. So we're bending that front knee and the back knee. We got 3 and 3. Sometimes you can start to feel these in your, like the side of your butt when you go down as a nice stretch. 4. Iris always misses when I do these, but she always sends me this move on Instagram. She's like, oh, it's the move that you showed me. 5. 5. Very good. Nice, guys. We're going for 6 and 6. Nice. We're going for around 8 to 12 on each leg. 7. Again, you don't have to use your hands if you don't like. I just like. 7. 8. See how everybody's doing. For 8. Nice. We have 9. And 9. Very good. Nice, Ted. Nice, Cheryl. Those look deep today. We're going for 10. 10. And 10. You can take your break anytime you like. Looks like we're both breaking, so I'll stop too. All right, catch the breath. We actually do have more time today, so maybe I've just been taking too long of breaks. So let's head down to the floor. We only have one more round, and then we'll stretch things out. So take the time you need to get down there, grab your mini loop on the way, and then we'll set up with that mini loop band around the feetsies. Whew. Very good. So I got that loop band around my feet. I'm gonna keep my feet on the floor to begin. And then I send my back down to the ground. Very good. All right, take a quick pelvic tilt if you like here, just to make that low back flush so we can make sure that we're working our core. And then as you're ready with that low back flush, we tabletop the legs so they're floating in the air, feet around, band around the feet. And then we'll be sending one leg out. As that leg goes out, pelvis pulls underneath you, belly button pulls up and in each time. So that abs are opposing the legs. Very good. 1, 1. Move nice and slow. That way we don't have to do as many. 2, 2. Very good. I'm moving slow with you. 3, 3. Keep breathing even though these are hard. You're doing amazing. 4, 4. Awesome. We have 5, 5, The band being here adds a little bit more for our hips. So we're working our core and our hips at the same time, which is the theme of the month. So that's why they're in here. 7, 7. We're only going for around 8 to 12. 8, 8. Nice. 9. Finish out strong here. Just get each leg. 9. 10. Ooh, guys, I'm stopping at 10. 10. 10. Woo. If you're still going, oh, I just saw the legs go down. Cool. Those are hard. Woo. All right, slowly begin to get up. Roll over to one side, and we'll be coming into those leg extensions in that kneeling position next. Good job today, guys. We're almost done with this lower body workout. Okay, so I'm setting up. My knees are going to be on the pillow. My feet are going to be also on a pillow, whatever works. You know your setup by now. I just like something under the feet. It makes this exercise a little bit more regressed. So it helps us move a little bit better. Okay, once you're ready, we're finding that kneeling position. We're thinking about bringing our hips forward, so we're more of in a posterior tilt. So we're not arched, our hips are forward. We squeeze the butt, ribs are down, core is tight, like if someone punches you, you're not getting any hits. It's nice and tough. No one can get you. Once you have that, you can cross your arms or leave them by your sides. I should have mentioned that earlier. Keep everything squeezed as you lean back as far as feels comfy, and then come back up. Nice. I'm going for 2. Very good. Keep those glutes nice and squeezed. Leaning back for 3. Very good, guys. We're going for 4. Nice. 5. We're going for around 8 to 12 here. 6. Very good. Let's see how everybody's doing. For 7. Nice, Miss Cheryl. Let's see how Ted is doing here. Very good, Ted. Nice. For 8, keeping those glutes nice and squeezed. For 9. Somewhere between 8 to 12, you can take a break. I have 9. And then last one, 10. Woo! Yeah. 11. Cheryl's still going. I'm going with her. Last one. Good job. 12. You got it.
I was thinking about.
What'd you say?
Oh, why I didn't stop.
Because you had a couple more in there. Very good. All right, we won't need the pillow anymore, I don't think. So just put her off to the side and then come up to your feet. We only have 2 more exercises for today, and then we'll pull things down. Ooh. Good job. Good job, guys. This is a hard one today. We're working our hips in a lot of different ways, and y'all are being troopers. Okay, we're coming into our wide leg hinge position. So maybe a little bit wider. Maybe you can get your toes a little bit towards me. Those are both options. So don't have to do both, but those are some things we can work towards. Then we'll spread into our feet, which will drive our knees out, and then hips will come to push behind us as we hinge down. Nice. Maybe on this one, we could even go a little bit deeper. So we're keeping active press into the feet on the way up. Very good. I'm going for 3. I have a lot of my clients that feel these in the inner legs and their adductors. So if that's you, that's where I feel them a lot too. For 4. Very good. For 5. These really help with all of our flexibility in our hips and in our lower body. 6. Nice. For 7. Also build a lot of strength in the glutes. Very good. And the hamstrings. 8. Nice, guys. We're going around 8 to 12 here. 9. 10. See how everybody's doing on these last couple. They look like they're doing really well. We're going to 12, 11. And then last one, 12. Very good. Okay, last, oh, we're actually a little bit late on time. Yeah, let's do it. We didn't do it last week, so let's do it today. So this will be the last exercise before we stretch out. So grab you a chair. We're gonna use it to help us or whatever you're using with your curtsy squats, and then we'll hop right into it. No dilly-dallying. So we shift our weight to one foot, send the other leg behind. Bend the front knee, bend the back knee. Wow, I just sounded like my dad. He would always say like, chop, chop. Chop, chop, chop. Very good. For 2 and 2. Nice. For 3 and 3. Maybe we can sit a little bit deeper in these, keeping our spine a little taller this time. For 4. Nice. And of course, 4. Very good. 5. These guys we're really working our glutes. We're working our hips. 5. Awesome. We're going for around 8 to 12 on both sides. 6. 6. Nice. For 7. Very good reps, guys. 7. 8. 8. Ooh. Keep on going. 9. We can finish. You can take your rest anytime you need to now. We're already past the 8. 9, 9. But if we're taking a rest, make sure we get equal number on both sides before we rest. 10. 10. Ooh. 11. Yeah, I'm starting to feel it. 11. Ooh. And we're taking our break. Good job, guys. Done with that workout portion. It got me today. Whew. Good job. All right, we're heading down to the floor as you're ready, and let's stretch things out. Whew. Nice. So take a seat on the ground and then come onto the back with the feet still on the floor. We're gonna do a nice chill cool down today since we worked out a little bit harder. Make it chill. All right, so we're laying down on our back on the floor. Feet are gonna stay on the ground. And then I'm gonna have you cross your left ankle over top your right knee. Nice. You can stay here thinking about pressing left knee away, or we can begin to thread our hands through the legs, grab behind right leg, and then still think about pressing left knee away with your mind. Try to keep that low back area on the floor. Let me take a couple deep breaths. Nice. Last deep breath here. Awesome. Set those right toes down. Keep the legs crossed. We're going to take a twist. So hands can come out at a T. And then you're just going to send your crossed legs over towards the right side of your mat. You can move your hips over a little bit to the left before you do that. And then we're sending our knee over, coming into the twist. Maybe you can think about bringing that left shoulder underneath you so you can set it on the floor and possibly start to look towards left hand. Right hand can come on top of your left leg to kind of help guide it down to the floor. As you take a deep breath. Oh, hi, puppy. Dogs love yoga. I don't know what it is. Last deep breath. Beautiful. And then roll onto the back. Uncross the legs. Send your left leg up to the sky now, and then interlace your hands behind that leg. So left leg, we're still working on it, and now it comes up to the sky. We're trying to keep that low back nice and flush. Hands are coming behind that left leg. And then I just begin with some points and some flexes here. releasing that hamstring that did a lot of work today. And then we can start flossing when you're ready. So we're going to point the toes, bend the knee, lower the leg. Ooh, and then flex the foot, squeeze the quad, straighten it up. Nice. You're pointing the toes to lower. You're flexing and squeezing the quad to lift. This is still one of my favorite hamstring stretches. Nice. Last one or two. Nice. Okay, then we're gonna switch it out. Left foot plants back on the floor. Right ankle crosses over top left knee. We can stay here, keeping low back down, thinking about pressing right knee away with our mind, or we can send the arms through and behind that left thigh, picking that left foot off the floor, and still thinking about pressing right knee away and keeping that lower back down. Big breaths. Very good. Last big breath. We're going to set the left foot down, back down to the floor, and then press into your left foot. I should have done this on the other side. Lift your hips up and then a little bit over towards the right, and then send your knee and your legs over towards the left side and come into your twist. So your arms open out of the T, legs are both crossed and over on that left side. And then you can think about bringing that right shoulder underneath you to set it on the floor. And maybe we begin to look towards our right hand. Left hand can come to the right thigh and help kind of push it down to the floor if you like. As we take big breaths. Last big breath here before we unravel. Nice. And then we unravel back to that cross position. Left foot comes back down. And then we're going to hug behind right thigh. So it kicks up to the sky. We grab behind right thigh. We start with a couple points and flexes with the toes. And then straight into the flosses. So we're going to point the toes, bend at the knee, and then flex the foot, squeeze the quad. I like to hold on behind my leg, but you can hold on any place that feels comfy for you. Nice. Very good. Finish out with one or two more. Nice. And then set that leg down on the ground. Roll over to your more comfy side and then begin to press up into your seat. Nice, guys.